That first spoonful of cereal you gave your baby. You did your homework. You picked organic. You checked the label. Pediatrician recommended. No added sugar. Trusted brand. And every morning since, you've been doing what you believed was the right thing. I did the exact same. For months, I made that cereal, thinned it out, watched my son eat it, and felt good about it. Then I found the report, not a blog, not a scare article, a U.S. congressional investigation with subpoenas, with internal company documents that proved major baby cereal brands knowingly used ingredients with arsenic levels up to 913 parts per billion. The FDA's own limit, 100. These companies knew. They tested their own products, and they kept selling them anyway. I had 3 of these brands in my pantry when I read that. That sick feeling you might have right now. I felt it too. Today, I'm going to show you exactly which brands to pull off your shelf and which ones you can actually trust. And the worst one on this list, it's been sitting in American homes for over 85 years, Gerber. The baby on the jar. The #1 selling infant cereal in this country. The brand your pediatrician mentioned at the 4-month visit, because it's been the default first food recommendation for generations. I bought it. I made it. I watched my son eat it every morning and felt like I was doing the right thing. This was in my pantry when I found the congressional report. That sick feeling you might have right now, this exact one gave it to me. You didn't fail your baby. You trusted a system that was supposed to protect you. We both did. Here's what that system didn't tell either of us. Rice plants absorb inorganic arsenic from soil and water at rates 10 times higher than other grains. That's not a manufacturing error. That's how rice grows. The FDA's own testing found infant rice cereals average 103 parts per billion of inorganic arsenic, just above the FDA's own action level of 100. Gerber was named specifically in the Congressional Subcommittee report. Inorganic arsenic is a Group 1 human carcinogen. In infants, chronic exposure is linked to impaired neurodevelopment and measurable IQ reductions. Leave this one on the shelf. And honestly, we're not even close to the worst on this list. This next one is for the parents who already did the extra homework. The ones who switched to organic specifically to avoid contamination. Earth's Best Organic Whole Grain Rice Cereal. USDA Organic Seal. $8 to $10 a box. The logic is completely reasonable. You buy organic produce to avoid pesticides, so you buy organic cereal for the same reason. Except the organic label cannot protect your baby from arsenic in rice. Here's why. Arsenic in rice comes from naturally occurring soil contamination and decades of old pesticide residue already in the ground. Organic farming doesn't remove it. Consumer Reports tested Earth's Best Organic Rice Cereal. They found 78 to 105 parts per billion of inorganic arsenic, almost identical to conventional rice cereals. The Healthy Babies. Bright Futures study tested 168 baby foods and found 95% contained at least one heavy metal. Organic or not, it didn't change the numbers. You paid a premium believing you were protected. You weren't. The neurological damage from arsenic accumulates slowly, with no visible symptoms in the early stages. This one is a no. And the next one, this is where it gets harder. Here's one that made me angry for a different reason. Parents' Choice Infant Rice Cereal. Walmart's store brand, about $3 a box. For families on a tight budget, and that's most families, this is often the only affordable infant cereal option on the shelf. And here's the thing. Arsenic in rice doesn't care what you paid. Same category, same risk, same exposure as the premium brands. The price is different. The danger isn't. Parents' Choice publishes no third-party heavy metal testing. No transparency on what arsenic limits they apply when sourcing their rice ingredients. The Clean Label Project tested over 530 baby food products and found that store brands offered zero safety advantage over name brands when it came to heavy metal contamination. The families buying this cereal are also the ones least likely to have seen the congressional report. least likely to have a pediatrician who flagged the issue, least likely to absorb the cost of switching to something safer. No warning label, no accountability at any level. My verdict: avoid. And now we get to the one that changes everything on this list. Okay, Beech Nut Classics Rice Cereal. 85 years in American homes. Natural E-positioning. Available in every major grocery chain. The kind of brand that shows up in pediatric take-home packets. When a company has that kind of history, you assume the trust is earned. Here's what the Congressional Subcommittee found when they subpoenaed Beech Nut's own internal documents. Their internal policies allowed arsenic levels of up to 913 parts per billion in their rice flour. The FDA's action level is 100. That's 9 times over, and they knew. The documents proved they knowingly purchased cheaper, high arsenic rice while marketing this product as safe for your baby's first foods. When the report went public in 2021, the FDA tested retail samples and confirmed the dangerous levels. Beech Nut issued a recall, but the recall came after years of sales, after millions of servings, during the critical first 6 months of brain development, the window when arsenic causes the most severe and most permanent damage. 913 parts per billion. That wasn't a mistake. That was a documented policy decision. This is the worst one on this list. Not close. Avoid this one. If this is helping, hit like and subscribe. I spend weeks going through congressional reports, lab studies, and internal company documents so you don't have to. Now let's keep going, because we still have 3 more products to get through before I show you what's actually safe. Okay. Now we're here. The one I've been building toward, Beech Nut Classics Rice Cereal. 85 years in American homes. On the shelf of every major grocery chain in this country. Recommended by pediatric offices. If your mom gave you baby food in the 70s or 80s, there's a good chance this was the brand. That's how deep the trust runs. And that's exactly why what the Congressional Subcommittee found is so devastating. They didn't just test the product, they subpoenaed the internal documents. And those documents proved that Beech Nut's own company policy allowed arsenic levels of up to 913 parts per billion in their rice flour. The FDA's limit is 100, 9 times over. This wasn't a manufacturing accident. It was a documented internal decision to use cheaper, higher arsenic rice to cut costs, while selling it as a safe first food for your baby. The FDA confirmed the levels in retail samples in 2021. Beech Nut issued a recall after years of sales, after millions of servings fed to babies during the first 6 months of life, the exact window when arsenic causes the most severe and most permanent neurological damage, 913 parts per billion. That was a choice they made. This one is the worst on this list. It's not close. Avoid it. If this is helping, hit like and subscribe. I go through congressional reports, internal company documents, and independent lab studies so you don't have to. Now let's keep going, because there are still 3 more products on this list, and you need to hear about all of them. Happy Baby Organics Oatmeal Baby Cereal. I know. The packaging is beautiful. The brand feels like it was made by parents who care. It's a frequent baby shower gift, and it's oat-based, which you might think puts it in a safer category. Here's what stopped me cold about this one. When the Congressional Subcommittee launched its investigation and requested internal testing data from the major baby food manufacturers, Happy Baby's parent company, Nurture Inc., was the only one that refused. They did not participate. They did not hand over documents. They were the only company on that list that went silent. Think about that. When Congress asks a baby food company to prove their product is safe, and that company says no, what does that tell you? Separately, the Environmental Working Group found glyphosate residues in oat-based baby cereals at levels up to 729 parts per billion. The congressional report also noted that independently tested Happy Baby products showed elevated arsenic and lead. A company that won't show you the data is a company with something to hide. I'd skip it. And what comes next isn't any better. Plum Organics Mighty 4. Baby cereal. This one is sold as a premium upgrade. 4 grains. Organic. The Mighty 4 name literally implies more nutrition, more thoughtfulness, more care. It's the kind of product that appeals to parents who've already done some research. It's priced to signal quality. But here's what the congressional report actually found. Campbell Soup Company, which owns Plum Organics, was named in the investigation. Their products showed lead levels exceeding 10 parts per billion and cadmium exceeding 5 parts per billion. And here's the part that made me put this one down immediately. The multi-grain formula doesn't reduce risk, it multiplies it. Each grain type brings its own distinct heavy metal contamination pathway. You're not getting more nutrition, you're getting more exposure vectors. Cadmium is the one that keeps me up at night. It accumulates in the kidneys over a lifetime. It doesn't flush out easily. The kidneys of an infant are not fully developed, which makes them dramatically more vulnerable than an adult's. This one is a no, full stop. The Mighty 4 label is doing a lot of heavy lifting for a product that can't back it up. And the last one, this one is for the parents who already saw the rice problem coming. You did your research. You switched away from rice cereal specifically because of the arsenic issue. And you landed on Gerber whole wheat cereal thinking, okay, wheat is safer, problem solved. Here's what you didn't catch. EWG and USDA pesticide testing have found glyphosate residues in wheat-based baby cereals. Glyphosate, classified as a probable human carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer in 2015. But honestly, the issue that surprised me even more is the sugar. Gerber whole wheat cereal contains 9 grams of sugar per serving from added fruit and flavoring. 9 grams. That's nearly as much sugar as some cookies. The whole grain label is doing exactly what it was designed to do. Make you feel safe while you miss what's actually in the bowl. Early repeated sugar exposure in infancy restructures taste preferences and is directly linked to childhood obesity and insulin resistance. You switched away from one problem and walked straight into 2 more. Leave this one on the shelf. And now I want to show you what's actually worth buying. Okay, that was a lot. If you're angry right now, good. Use it. If you're feeling guilty, stop. Right now, you didn't know. None of us knew. You're watching this because you love your kid. That's not failure. That's exactly the kind of parent they need. Now let me give you something useful. Because the safe options are real, they're accessible, and one of them costs almost nothing. Let me show you what to buy instead. Now here's one you can actually trust. Cerebelli Smart Cereals. Founded by a pediatric neurosurgeon, Dr. Teresa Persner, who built this brand specifically because she couldn't find a cereal she felt confident feeding her own patients. That backstory matters. Every single batch is independently third-party tested for 17 heavy metals. Not just the 4 in the congressional report, 17, and they publish the results. Scan the QR code on the box and you can see the actual numbers for the exact batch you're holding. Arsenic, lead, cadmium, mercury, all below detection thresholds. No added sugar, DHA and folate in bioavailable forms. You can find it at Target or on Amazon, around $12 to $15 a box, worth every cent. This one gets my full approval. This next one surprised me, and it's become one of my favorites to recommend. Holly Organic Baby Oatmeal. It's made in Austria, which matters more than you'd think. European regulations set the inorganic arsenic limit for baby food at 10 parts per billion. The U.S. FDA's limit, 100. That means the legal safety standard in Europe is 10 times stricter than here. Holly isn't just meeting U.S. requirements, it's meeting a bar most American brands can't even approach. It's also Demeter certified, which is a higher standard than USDA organic. Single-ingredient oat formula. No added sugar, no salt, no synthetic vitamins. You can order it on Amazon or through specialty health stores. Around $10 to $12 a box. Green light on this one? Once upon a farm oat and chia. Here's where the process actually matters. Most cereals are heat processed, which destroys nutrients and forces manufacturers to add synthetic vitamins back in. Once Upon a Farm uses cold process preservation instead. It keeps the natural nutrients intact without the heat. That means what's on the label is actually in the bowl. They've earned the Clean Label Project Purity Award, which means independent testing across 400 contaminants, all major heavy metals included. They're also B Corporation certified, which means they're audited on social and environmental standards by a third party. Oat base instead of rice dramatically lowers arsenic risk from the start. Find it at Target, Whole Foods, or Amazon, about $9 to $11. This one's a solid yes, Amara Organic Baby Cereal. If you want something with maximum transparency and you want it in your regular shopping cart without hunting for it, this is the one. USDA Certified Organic, Clean Label Project Certified. Third-party heavy metal testing with results you can actually access. They also use a patented cold drying process, which means they're not stripping nutrients with high heat and then dumping synthetic fortification back in. No added sugar. They offer a single-ingredient oatmeal option if you want the most stripped-down, nothing-hidden version, available on Amazon and at Target, around $10 to $13 a box. If convenience matters to you, and it should, because you're a parent and your time is real, this one makes it easy, safe choice. And now for the one that costs almost nothing. Homemade oatmeal. I know how that sounds. You're already exhausted, but hear me out, because this is actually the most powerful option on the list. Buy Bob's Red Mill Organic Rolled Oats or Quaker Organic Old-Fashioned Oats. Both carry independent glyphosate-free certifications. Cook 2 tablespoons of oats in half a cup of water until thick. Cool it. Blend it smooth. Mix in 2 tablespoons of breast milk or formula to get the texture right. That's it. You control every single ingredient. 0 processing risk. 0 added sugar. 0 unknown contaminants from a commercial supply chain. A $5 bag makes over 50 servings. That's about 10 cents a bowl compared to $12 a box. Safest option on this list. And it puts you completely in charge. So here's your list. Off your shelf. Gerber Rice Cereal, Earth's Best Organic Rice, Parents' Choice, Beech Nut, especially Beech Nut, Happy Baby Oatmeal, Plum Organics, Mighty 4, and Gerber Whole Wheat. 7 products. All of them failing your baby in ways the label will never tell you. Into your cart. Cerebelli, Holly, Once Upon a Farm, Amara, or skip the store entirely and make it at home. Bob's Red Mill, 10 cents a serving, the safest option on this entire list. You now know what most parents never find out. The congressional report exists, the data is real, and you found it. Now think about the new mom in your life, your sister, that friend from the baby group who just started solids, your neighbor who's still buying beech nut because no one told her. She's feeding it to her baby right now, thinking she's doing everything right, exactly like we did. Send her this video, text it, post it, tag her. We protect our own. And she needs this information today. Next week, I'm going into infant formula. Same investigation, same companies. What I found is going to make this video look like a warm-up. Like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss it. You came here to protect your kid. Now you can...